The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. With your hosts, Joe Bond.
You're awful.
And A.J. Applegarth.
It's Sin Shu Chu. It's a mouthful.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour Special Edition, Scott Fishbowl X Edition. AJ is my co-host. My name's Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. We got a few minutes started. Got started a few minutes late, so gonna rush the intro here a little bit. But you guys will hear me and AJ talk a lot throughout this show. But wanted to make sure that we got to all of our guests. We got a great show tonight. We're live on Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch. And you guys can hear this replay back on a bunch of other channels as well. Big thing for tonight is, Scott Fishbowl, all about the donations. And, we know the Scott Fishbowl Podathon does great things for Fantasy Cares, which is like Toys for Tots. And I believe they picked up another one this year. If not, last year they started it, but I know this year they picked up another one. They've raised, this afternoon I checked it was like over $33,000. So initially we were going to, try to raise some money and give it back to them. I know it's super awesome.
That's fantastic.
Kind of last minute switch here. Picked something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. Multiple Sclerosis Society. We haven't raised a ton of money, but we kind of did it last minute, so I don't expect a ton. But anything you guys can give, there's a link on fantasysixpack.net/donate. It'll be in the show notes as well, so go ahead and check that out. Go ahead and give $1. That's fine. Anything you can give is much appreciated. So, AJ, real quick, how's your draft going, man?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, mine. We're halfway back through round 4. I think I've been gone out of my house for the last couple hours, running around doing different things. So that's why I'm kind of late to get into this. But yeah, it was. I got Lamar with pick 3. Came back around and got Miles Sanders. Almost got Drew Brees, man. Like, as much as I said all along, that was never going to happen. One pick away. Almost got my 2 of my top 3 quarterbacks in this format. And then came back around and got Kenyon Drake. So I'm pretty happy. There's been a couple of guys that go here in the rounds 3 or 4 that I've noticed that I kind of wanted, but so be it. That's going to happen. You can't get everybody you like. So
yeah.
Anyway, let's bring on our first guest of the night, coming from Fantasy Six-Pack, Keith Lott and Richard Seville. You guys there, man?
Yep.
Yeah, we're here, Joe.
All right.
Hi, Joe.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us. I know we're a minute or two late bringing you guys on, but Keith, let's start with you, man. What pick did you have, and what division are you in?
I have pick 7 in the Toy Story Toys division.
All right. How have you started out so far?
We're in the 3rd round. I went running back, quarterback, and I landed Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, and Carson Wentz.
Nice. I like.
Yeah, pretty happy. Happy with that start.
I like the Wentz pick, man. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. I think he's super underrated this year. But Richard, how about yourself, man?
I am in the Hot Wheels division.
All right.
How are you guys tonight, bud?
We're good. I'm
Good, man.
drinking a
I'm in the Hot
Dream
Wheels
Team
division.
beer.
Came out. Dream Team beer.
My milk.
Milk. All right, you and the mustache.
And a double cannon.
Milk was a bad choice.
Indeed.
I'm in position 3, and I had the choice between Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, and I sweated over it. I thought, well, I'll take the ground yardage, and I took Lamar instead. There's a toss-up, and I think it was a 50-50 for many people.
It's tough, man. Like it's tough with Lamar. Like I get the regression talk, and I was tempted to go like Saquon at 4 or 3 instead of Lamar, but I decided those rushing yards are going to be so massive, and so you just hope that outweighs any regression in touchdowns and outweighs any regression in completion percentage that he's going to have. And so, that's kind of how I saw it, and I hope I'm right. 'Cause if not, it's gonna suck.
But on the other hand, if you take Mahomes, Mahomes is in a pretty good division.
I see. I really wanted Mahomes, so I'm actually I would have taken him over Lamar, but
I thought, well, I'll go with Lamar and Kevin. We'll talk to you later about Lamar Jackson.
They're last on the docket, them and Jono. So it'll be a good finale.
But when it came around the turn, there was it. The first wide receiver didn't come off the board until 2:04.
Yeah, wow, that's surprising. We had Michael Thomas go off and pick like 6 or something like that. So
yeah, and I was left on the choice with Devontae Adams at 2:11.
Volume hog, man. You can't knock it. So Keith, I want to ask you though, because you were talking about this earlier. You brought up some of the, you've been following the other drafts using the tool from Roto Grinders. What's the pick that has surprised you the most? I've got one, but I want to hear you.
Oof, that's a good question. I'm loading a fresh ADP here. Well, how about 2 people have picked Matt Barkley?
Oh my God! Okay, so let's take the Barkley
thing
out
behind
because,
that.
That's obviously a mistake, or at least we hope it was.
Yeah. No, it's not. I had somebody and I thought I posted it in our Slack chat earlier. Maybe I put it in the wrong one. I don't know. There was a tie-in with a charity event. If you took Barkley in your first round and made the playoffs with your team, then you had a chance to cash in on this donation, this amount. It started around $200 or something, and it was going up. But yeah, one of the guys in my 102 group had posted something about it because everyone's like, "What is going on with this Matt Barkley? Oh, that's a huge mistake." But yeah, there's something out there that.
Okay.
So if you get through and you get to the playoffs and you have Barkley, as your first round pick,
super interesting to know.
then you can cash in, and it would go to charity of your choice too. So
interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and good for those 2 people.
Yeah,
who,
I didn't even hear about it, and honestly, I don't know if I could have done it. I'm a little too competitive, but we're trying to do our part, right, with this. So, but yeah. So besides the Matt Barkley picks, what are the other 2 more? What are the other interesting picks that you've seen?
Looks like Devontae Adams going before running backs like Miles Sanders or Nick Chubb.
All right.
But there's good reason behind that, but
yeah,
I'll tell you, mine was Gurley. I saw Gurley go at 9. That absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yep, that was.
I saw that early on in the day when I was following along, and the other one that I saw that was before that was, who was it? Well, yeah, it was Michael Thomas going at 5, and I get it. Michael Thomas was a stud last year, but in this format, taking the wide receiver that super early was just not something I would do, but. Gurley trumped it for me going number 9. It was just like, no, you can't take Gurley.
The strange one for me was Joe Mixon going ahead of Alvin Kamara. Which,
that's not
horrible, but
I don't think it's terrible, but
I don't.
That was early on, but I mean the one that struck me was I thought, yeah, you're right about Michael Thomas, but. For him to go at 2:04, that's a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
I would have pictured him going well before that. I mean, 2:04 in my division was Devontae and Thomas went at the 110. And then Mixon. I think that
sounds about right.
Yeah, the biggest surprise to me, I think, was maybe just in my division. Like, it was super running back heavy. I mean, all the way through. I didn't know who I was taking until really I was on the clock, and I went with Mahomes. Joe and I were talking basically right before the draft, and it was kind of between him and Barkley for me. And I kind of just went with what I saw in the mocks that I was doing. If I took Mahomes, then I was still able to get some of these good running backs, but it was not the case in my draft. And that's okay. I mean, I still like my team so far. I feel like I had to reach on Fournette, but I took him ahead of Jones, who I wasn't real high on. I took him ahead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Just there was a lot of guys that were there, but I just didn't love them, and I was hoping Eckler would fall.
Jones, surprisingly.
Yeah, I was hoping Eckler would fall to me, and he got snaked right before me. And give the lady credit, Miss Samantha Holt. She's
sharp, man.
She grabbed Jackson right after I took Mahomes, and we were the only two QB takers in the first round, and then almost halfway through the second, Russ finally went with the 206. So.
Hey, Joe, real quick.
Sure.
Speaking of Gurley, and then an interesting pick. So Gurley was the 12th pick in the second round, and then on the 2-3 turn, he followed up with Jonathan Taylor, and it was the 13th running back taken.
Whoa. A little early for Taylor, but hey, you like your guy, I guess, man. Like, go who you're gonna go get. And in this kind of a league, man, you've got to go get your guys. Like, I don't hate it if you take risks in this league. Like, look, safe isn't going to win you this league, but to me, going above and beyond, is sometimes seems a little nuts. But hey, I've been wrong on Gurley before. I don't love it now with all the knee problems he's had. So I don't know. We'll see how it is.
That's fair. That's fair, and that's kind of like Dalvin Cook. I think he's a guy where you don't mind taking a chance, even though there's this holdout thing going on. So, and he went about. I think he went about the 9th, or no, he went somewhere in the middle, 7, 8 or 9. So,
cool.
How do you feel about Dalvin Cook? Like, where would you?
Honestly, I've still got him ranked pretty high, and I sort of was like trying to rush out the door and made my 3rd pick, and we're trying to get dinner off to the kids. Rushed and made my 3rd pick, and kind of didn't realize that Dalvin Cook was still sitting there on my draft, so that's kind of a mistake on my part. I picked Drake instead. I think I absolutely would have taken Cook. I don't know where Cook fell in the MFL ADP, but he was like. It seemed like he was missing, so it just seems kind of bizarre. But I still got him as like a top 10 back right now. So I was kind of shocked to not have him listed ahead of Drake on my list when it came to MFL, and that's my fault. Like, I should have done better. I should have looked more.
So they have 2 rankings. They have like their rank, and then they have the ADP.
Yeah,
you got to make sure you're sorted, and it's a huge difference.
It is a huge. Well, you got to be careful with the ADP, and we got to move on to the next guest. So I got to let you guys go in here. You got to be careful with the ADP, because the ADP, you got to realize with the MFL, they have a lot of rookie drafts that have happened so far, and not a lot of regular drafts or dynasty leagues. So their ADP is heavy rookie, like weighted. And so if you rank it, especially after the first 6 or 7 rounds, you're going to see a ton of rookies at the top, and that's it. Which is fine, because honestly, I rank some of the rookies ahead of some of the average vets, especially in formats like this where you need to go a little upside. But it is something you need to know. Like, knowing MFL is huge, and obviously I've already screwed up. So, it is what it is. It's not like I don't like Drake, but I like Cook more, so I would have taken him. But yeah, I mean, maybe it'll work out. Maybe he will hold out, and I won't have to worry about it. So, all right, well, guys, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
I didn't switch your slide, so I'll get your slide up there for the last 3 seconds that you're on. Sorry, I suck at this.
No worries.
I'm used to Jeff being here. He'll be on later. So I will
good luck.
Talk to you all later, and good luck with the rest of your drafts.
Have fun, guys.
Enjoy, guys.
Bye.
All right, so next up, we've got Shane P. Hallam. You there, man? I think I saw you jump on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey,
How's
Shane.
it going?
How's it going tonight?
Hey, what's up, man?
Thanks for
How are
joining
you?
us.
Hey,
Shane is
good.
from fakepigskin.com, draftsite.com, steelcityinsider.net. Does a lot of stuff. Been following you on Twitter for quite a while. We happen to be the same draft slot, 1-3. So I figured I'd reach out to somebody who had the same slot as me. I've already announced that I got Lamar with mine. Who were you lucky enough to get?
I got Patrick Mahomes, so I was pretty
jealous,
happy.
man.
Obviously McCaffrey's there. You're going to take him, but I was happy Saquon went second, and right before he struck that 10-year deal, I locked him in. So I was super happy. Lamar would have been my backup, but
exactly your backup.
CMC Mahomes. yeah. So I felt pretty good. It's a nice start to get Mahomes and feel comfortable.
Absolutely,
I think
man.
so.
I wanted Mahomes. I just felt like he may not have the upside and the ceiling per week that Lamar would have, because Lamar's, even if he regresses, he's going to have some monstrous games where he rushes for 100 and some odd yards and 2 touchdowns, right? And it's just going to be disgusting. But Mahomes overall just is going to be safer. His completion percentage is going to be better. And in this format, with the completion percentage being a factor, is going to be huge. So that's why I weighed him. I don't know if that's what played into your decision.
Yeah, and this is my 10th Scott Fishbowl. I was actually in number 1.
Right.
So I've been in every single one. and so like something I learned probably by like 5 or 6 was, the scoring's always different, and I feel like you need some rock solid base to your team, and then get that upside later. I feel like sometimes if you swing too hard early, that's been my worst teams. I feel like the first couple picks in this type of format, you kind of need to have that base that is going to get you some points every week. And then those flex positions, I think, is where you can try to find those gems to hopefully get you into the playoffs and get you to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's been that's been kind of my strategy going into this one, and I think I've hit it so far.
Yeah. So you're saying you would not have taken Todd Gurley early?
No, I would not.
I don't know if you heard that comment, but he went 9th in one league, which was crazy. Yeah, pretty brutal. So because you've been in AJ, step in any time if you got some questions, man. I had a couple I wanted to rattle off of Shane.
No, you're good. You're good.
If since you've been in this since the beginning, so I've been in since when it was 480, which I don't even know which number that was, 4 or 5. I mean, how has it just progressed? Like, and it's been, how fun has it been to watch it grow into what it is today?
It's been really cool. Like, it's crazy to see. I remember, year 1, 2010, it was just Scott kind of putting out an email to a bunch of people to like get some friends together, anyone in the industry that like talks fantasy, just get them in this league. So we had, I think like 4 divisions, and that was it. We had 48 teams, and it was, this is huge, right? And now we're at 1,400.
Yeah, absolutely insane. The difference, right? It's.
I mean, even just to see someone like Mike Clay win year 1, who he was a nobody, and now he's working at ESPN, right? So
I didn't even realize he was like a nobody
later.
Back then. I didn't even think of that. It was so long ago.
Yeah, like I remember being on his podcast that got like 50 listeners a week.
That
was so like you never know. But you never know. Like, and I think that's what's awesome. And then once the charity element was added, it's really cool. Man. But I'm glad because I think everyone knows Scott's a great guy, and I worked very closely with him for a few years, and it's all the praise is well deserved.
Yeah, no, we love everything he's doing for Fantasy Cares, and like I don't know if you caught the intro to the show, but I was gonna collect some money on the side for them and like donate it to Fantasy Cares, and then I saw their pot. It was like 36,000 as of this afternoon, and I was like, yeah, they don't really need my $100. If I'm gonna raise any money, it's gonna have to be with something different. Everybody's giving money to the potathon for that, so like I decided to pivot, and we're doing the MS Society. Something that's near and dear to my heart. Unfortunately, I was diagnosed with it back in 2013. I've been lucky, so save all the sorries and stuff. I get it, but I've been lucky so far. But I know people aren't, so I want to get whatever I can and collect it toward it. And all the money that we collect tonight is going to go toward it. So I'm happy to be able to help any way I can. But AJ, you got anything to throw out here?
Yeah, well, since you've been in this for many, many years, my thought is, I mean, when you go into this draft thinking, all right, here's my strategy, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and obviously there's new wrinkles that have been added into it every year to kind of tweak the scoring and give certain positions more favor and whatnot. I mean, have you really changed your overall strategy that much, or do you still kind of like, okay, well, I'm looking at what's going here, and I want to go with running backs first, or I'm going to try to stack quarterbacks, or I mean, how do you approach it each year?
I think I've kind of settled into a strategy, and Scott does a good job even with the scoring changes to try to make positions kind of line up evenly, but it's always in recent years, it's always super flex, and we always have that tight end premium element. So there's still some similarities, and I think I've kind of locked in. I don't think I've had a losing record since 2013. So I haven't won. I haven't done super well. There's people who have done much better than me, but I think I've kind of fell into a strategy. I remember, 1 year not really prepping much, and then going in, and very similar to this year, right? The wide receiver value was crazy because people go running backs really hard and get those QBs. And I was like, all I'm doing is redraft. So I'm just going to draft all these receivers, and my team stunk, even though the receivers were great. So I think I've kind of settled into, try to get one of those top quarterbacks every year. Even if it's not the top two, get someone in that first round or early second round. And then pound out running backs very hard. Make sure I get two more quarterbacks, and then I just took my second at the 6'10" and 703. I'm going to be taking another one. So getting three quarterbacks to have that kind of fully stacked, get maybe one top receiver, and then really pound that position late. That's kind of been my goal. And tight end, I usually go earlier. This year, doing some mock drafts and some ADP stuff, I've found the guys I like kind of falling a little bit. So I'm actually taking tight end a little bit later than I usually do, but I'm going to end up with two by the end of the 9th and probably three by the end of the 11th or 12th.
Yeah, that's kind of what Joe and I have been looking at and talking about, over the past few weeks. Just where do we go with tight end? I mean, it seems like it's a really deep position this year, as far as there's a lot of guys that just aren't highly touted, high ADP guys, but they can still produce for you, especially in this format. So I think that's kind of the way I'm leaning right now. Obviously, I might have to zig a little differently and zag where I need to, if depending on how my division goes. But as of now, it's been just straight running backs for the most part. So, and I've not been on that trend. I'm 2 quarterbacks and 1 running back right now. So we'll see how it happens.
All right, well, Shane, I appreciate you coming on. We got to jump to our next guest. I know this is Fast and Furious here, but, well, actually, is Ryan... I don't know if Ryan jumped on here yet. Oh, yeah, there he is. All right, we're gonna bounce over to Ryan here, but I appreciate you coming on, and good luck with the rest of your draft, man.
Thanks, you guys too. I hope to see you in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hoping to just better myself as get a second win this year. That would be an upcharge for me. Upgrade.
See you guys.
All right, see you, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, so that was Shane Hallam. Next up is Ryan. I may kill your name. I should have asked before, man. Cearfoss. You there, man?
Yeah, close enough.
Cearfoss. I guess, man. At the end, I was like,
hey,
Foss or Foss? I don't know. So he I was on his podcast a couple weeks ago, Armchair Fantasy Show. He's also an analyst for TDDR. How's it going tonight, man?
Really good, man. Flying through the draft so far.
Are you? What round are you guys in?
I just made my 5th round pick.
Damn. Wow. Yeah, we're nearing, I think, mid 4th in mine, so not too bad. Better than most of my years that I've done this. So hopefully it's I'll end before about 3.5 weeks, which is what has been my average. But so who have you got? What pick did you have, and what division are you in?
I'm in the Transformers division.
Oh.
I had the 101.
One of the popular ones. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I got lucky enough to pull the 101 in the division that I asked for, especially when it's that. But it's worked out so far. I started real chalk, obviously, with McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to not do that.
Yeah. At the turn, 212 and 301, I took Carson Wentz and Devontae Adams. Was really shocked for Adams to get there just because, I mean,
Yeah, that's
top 2 receiver, and
Yeah.
he's guaranteed to get production. And I kind of I took a few chances this time around. I went Mike Evans, followed by Dave Montgomery. I got some flack from telling my buddies about the Montgomery pick, but he's guaranteed volume. He had 242 carries and 50 first downs last year with just trash at QB. Hopefully Nick Foles gets that offense going a little bit better. And he already finished as a top 24 running back. He has that potential to finish as an RB2, at least a high-level, high-end one. So that's why I kind of went that pick over some of the rookies who aren't going to be at camp.
Yeah, I can see that. Again, this late, the running backs are going super fast. So to take your guy when you need to or when you think you need to isn't such a bad thing. So
running backs got destroyed, mine.
Yeah, I get
mine.
that. Yeah, interesting. The Devontae Adams thing to me, I get it. Like if the receivers are falling like that to you, then you might as well take it. It's just to me like a bunch of running backs were still kind of there at the end of the second and third to me, so I went running back. I don't know.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I was hoping Aaron Jones or Austin Eckler would fall to me, and they didn't even make it around. It was just destroyed.
Yeah, that's how mine fell off. I mean,
We had
great running backs.
through the first 2 rounds, we had two tight ends, one receiver go. Everything else was QB and running back, almost split down the middle. So decisions had to be made.
Yeah.
So have you been following anybody else's draft and seeing anything that's been interesting to you or anything that you're like, damn, I wish I had done that instead? Or
I've seen a few people who've gone 4 running backs to start, and I get a little bit jealous over it just because I know how players will get beat up this year. But it's also very bold from building with QBs in this with how their scoring is. And I saw Josh Allen around too, which he kind of scares me. Yeah, he kind of scares me there just because
That's bold.
the penalties for inaccurate quarterbacks really hurts.
that's the big thing in this one is the penalties. Like if you can't, the penalties for like sacks and then the incompletions and stuff. It's brutal if you can't. And Josh Allen's one of the least accurate quarterbacks in the league, so that's very surprising that he went that early. And that must just be somebody that's just looking at normal redraft, normal standard scoring, and just thinking whatever. Well, actually, is Ryan? I don't know.
Yeah, I know the rushing upside's there, but they also have a power back now in Zach Moss, and that offense has changed a lot. Hopefully, they don't want their QB to get beat up like that, which sucks for him, but it's good for all over fantasy.
Yeah. So now that you said you're in the 7th already?
Oh, no, I just made my 5th round.
Fifth. Okay. So as far as later round sleeper kind of players, I mean, are you sitting on any position, or is there a cluster of kind of guys you're looking at maybe in your 10th, 11th? You don't have to give it away. Maybe not those specific rounds, but just later rounds in general, of a specific position or anything is kind of what we're.
I think I'm going to try to hammer out a couple tight ends later. Not exactly sure where I want to go with it, because if you're not getting that top rank of them, you're kind of taking a chance. So I might try to mix somebody who's a little bit more boring, like a Jared Cook who's falling, but preferably like Johnny Smith, even going a little bit later, getting maybe Thad Moss, who's the only tight end there in Washington. And then running back wise, I'm going to try to hammer out some handcuffs for other people's teams. So I don't really have that many running backs now, but I want like somebody like Boston Scott, who's going to, if something happens to Miles Sanders, it's his job. Like I want a guy who can produce if given the chance. I know Alexander Madison's probably going to go much higher than that, so it kind of pulls him out of there because I'm still trying to get guys to start.
Yeah.
But I want high-end dart throws on guys who are one step away from having a major role in the offense because you're really not going to win this by going conservative late. Like, I don't want a guy like a Tariq Cohen who's, even if something happened to Montgomery, he's still just third down back. I want a guy who can take over the role.
Has Cam Newton gone yet in yours? You're a little farther along. No. I'm kind of wondering where he will go in most drafts. I don't know if you have any thoughts on him real quick before we gotta move on.
Cam's super tough because it's weird. NFL hasn't projected at 25 points a game as the highest QB available right now for me. But I know accuracy issues, lack of surrounding talent. I'm waiting on him, man. He's still going to go under guys like Tannehill, Stafford. I'd probably still take Daniel Jones over him, even maybe Phillip Rivers. Like, I'm not really excited to get him. I know he has rushing upside, but still, it's time off from football, new offense, and he's never been a 66% passer or better. And that's what I'm kind of shooting for here for a guy who can do that, so I'm not losing points on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I wonder if he's really going to go that low or if somebody's going to go, oh, it's Cam Newton. Click.
and he's at the Patriots now.
You're right. Patriots factor and Cam Newton. Like, people just get crazy about both individually, and now that you got both at the same time, like, okay. Let's see how this goes. So
I'm not gonna be that guy, but I'm sure somebody
won't either. I mean, I've got a pretty safe quarterback in Lamar. I can find somebody else who I don't have to take a super risk on. So, but yeah. All right, man. Well, we got to bounce to our next guests. Happy to have you on. Good luck with the rest of the draft, man.
Thanks to you guys too.
All right, see
Thanks
ya.
for coming on. Good luck.
All right, so next up, we've got two fantasy six-pack guys here. My computer is struggling hard. Apparently, I should have had one of these guys who's coming on next help us out. This is not going well for me. He knows who he is. Jeff Hicks, what's up, man? You there?
Oh, I am living the dream. How about you, Mr. Producer?
This is bad. It's I have a feeling like Keith was telling me it's skipping really bad on YouTube and everything. So, yeah, you're not going anywhere. You want to take over this one somehow? I don't know how that would work.
I don't know. You totally changed formats. So it may
this
be a little
was just
different.
a different thing, just because I knew we couldn't switch videos during mid-stream here. So,
yes, I am off the clock officially. So,
all right, and Josh Livi, what's up, man? You there? Unmute? No.
Unmute yourself, Josh.
Saw you there.
Hey, Joe, you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
Yes.
All right,
All right, good stuff, guys. So let's start with Jeff here. Jeff, what division are you in, and what pick did you have?
I am in Tonka Toys, and I am in the 12th slot.
All right.
Not by choice, but
hey, you got it.
I'm actually okay with it.
So I know you were sweating getting in. So good times to see you get one of those last spots here. Who did you snags on that final turn?
Well, unfortunately, we're only in the third round, so I've only made 2 picks.
Okay.
But I went exactly where I wanted to, going running back, quarterback.
Okay.
And lucky enough, I wanted to take essentially best RB available. Ended up being Dalvin Cook. So I drafted him at 112, and then on the turn, I went quarterback. And since Lamar and Mahomes were gone, QB3 in our league is Dak Prescott. So I'm pretty happy with my first 2 choices.
Yeah, dude, those are 2 phenomenal picks. Dak falling that late to you is pretty surprising. I don't think he falls past the mid-first round, maybe back end of first round in a lot of leagues, so that's pretty good there. Josh, what about you, man? What division and what pick are you?
I'm in the Polly Pocket division.
All right.
And I had the 8th pick.
Cool deal.
And I got a steal with Kamara at 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
He fell to me, and I'm not going to pass that up.
No, absolutely not, man.
And I actually wanted to go Kyler Murray, like I said I was in our chat. And Joe, you said, "What are you talking about?"
You were super stoked on him, man.
I'm
not as high on him as you, but it's all good.
I was locked in on him, but I ended up going with Hopkins instead.
Okay.
So I have Kamara and Hopkins as my 1 and 2.
Okay. And dude, I just realized I said Cook went after my Drake pick, but he actually went in the middle of the second round. I guess I didn't miss him for a reason because he was gone. But somebody said Cook was still there, so I was just like, oh, what, really? And I didn't look back to see if he actually still was there, but no, he wasn't. So I don't feel as bad now. So I'm good with my Drake pick. Way better. Good with my Drake pick. So the one thing I want to ask of both of you guys, because this is both of your all's first year, right?
This is my second.
Oh, Jeff, you've been in it before.
I got in last year.
Okay.
The last week, just like this year.
Scott just likes making you sweat, apparently. But Josh,
Yes.
this is your first year?
It actually is my first year.
Well, I mean,
man.
what was it like getting that? I mean, I know what it was. Like, the year I got in for the first time wasn't nearly as big as this. So I can't even – I was excited back then. I can't even imagine what it is getting the email now saying you're in. Like, what is that? How does that feel, man? What were you like?
I mean, I kept seeing on Twitter guys are like, oh, I just got my Scott Fishbowl invite. I'm waiting for mine. Not happening. I actually texted Ryan McDowell.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ryan.
Yeah.
And they said, like, if you haven't made it in 3 consecutive years, shoot him a text and he'll pull strings. So I shot him yeah, exactly. So I shot him a DM. And before he even got back to me, Scott sent me my invite. I was like, oh, no way. I got it. I'm good.
Nice.
I'm in. I was going crazy. It was, wow. I was speechless.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good feeling to get the invite to this. It's such a different type of league, and there's just so many people
really
in it.
is.
It's the Twitter, the Twitter community comes together for this. There's some people that hate it and they like block people that are in it because they get pissed off seeing all this Scott Fishbowl stuff. But it's such a good cause. Obviously they give out
exactly.
They give to Fantasy Cares. We're trying to do something a little different, give the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. So we're not gonna get anywhere close to what they have. Not even like touching the surface. But hey, I'll take what I can get for whoever can contribute. The link's in the show notes. It's just fantasysixpack.net/donate. It'll take you to the PayPal, and everything we raise goes there. So, but yeah. So where are you guys headed, in your next couple picks? Like, your strategy going forward now that you've had a couple picks, now that you've had the landscape of your team, the base of your team down, like where you think you're headed, like more quarterbacks, more running backs? Jeff, we'll start with you.
For me, just because it's a turn thing, everything that I just had to go, the only real plan I can have is to draft who I want.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just assume that, especially, with quarterback, tight end, running backs, I just can't assume that a guy that I really want is going to be there in 22 picks. So if it seems like a reach, it probably is just because of draft position. So when you look at like Josh Hornsby's Roto-Grinders app for ADP and where players are going, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the bigger jumps are the guys that are picking first or second or 11 and 12. So last year I got too focused on that. So this year I'm trying just to say, go for what you want. I know how I want to set up my roster, and that's pretty much all I can control.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? What are you looking at for your possible next?
I already have my RB1 and wide receiver 1 locked up. So I'm probably going to start reaching for a quarterback here. I'm looking at, Russell Wilson still available on my board. He's a steal if I could catch him in the third round. And maybe go another running back. I'm going to hold off on more wide receivers, because wide receivers this year are a dime a dozen. I could get a guy like Jarvis Landry in the 6th round, or Tyler Lockett or Metcalf in the 7th, 8th round. So I'm going to hold off on a wide receiver now that I got my wide receiver one.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I'm also going to hold off on tight end. I think I can get a guy like, Ryan Griffin, Chris Herndon, Noah Fant, one of these low-key guys, Hayden Hurst in the later rounds, who could, perform admirably in the later rounds. I think they could be a good steal, especially in the tight end premium league. I think that's where I'm headed now, but I'm not locked in on it yet.
Yeah, I've noticed in a bunch of the mocks that I've done that, you can get, unless you're trying to go after those top 2-3 tight ends, and really it's all about Kelsey and Kittle. If you're not going after one of them, you can pretty much wait, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And Andrews won also.
Yeah, Andrews goes early, but dude, honestly, I'm kind of worried about him. I forget who it was. Was it Anthony Sorvino this past week, AJ, that brought up the fact that he's got like diabetes or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And
really?
So like this whole COVID stuff is like terrible for him. I mean,
man.
he could be one of those guys that like randomly sits out because he's got other health issues, or maybe I heard it on the radio or something. I forget, but he's a worry. Plus, like he was so touchdown dependent last year, and not that they can't continue. I mean, Jared Cook does it year in year out, it seems like, but it's just kind of one of those guys. Like I'd rather have a volume guy later on with the touchdown or with the tight end. Premium scoring, that gets extra for first downs, extra for catches. Granted, it's only half a point for each, but that matters as it goes on and on and on. So,
yeah, the catch and fall guys, like we all make fun of Jason Witten so often, but like if he wasn't, tight end 75 on the Raiders, he'd be perfect.
Yeah,
that's where Jack Doyle comes into play, man.
Jack Doyle.
Yeah, Witten's just, I've just watched him decimate the Eagles for years.
Ebron's
very happy
Ebron's
to see him.
Great
very happy to see him out of the division again. But I mean that's perfect for this type of format, though, especially with the first downs and the tight end premium in general. That's huge for that type of activity, I guess, if you want to call it, on the field. But Andrews still hasn't even gone in mine, and we're sitting at
went in mine. Him and Earth went back to
3-6.
back, so the top 4 are gone. So I'm not even going to consider tight end.
You could even get a guy like Ebron this year on the Steelers with a healthy Big Ben.
Yeah,
he's a monster.
You should talk to Dave Eddy in Slack about Ebron. Not a fan. I always joke. I don't hate him as much as Dave Eddy, but I don't like him either. But whatever. No, it's funny because in my league, like I don't want to go early tight end at all, and I was hoping I could wait till 7, 8, 9 maybe for my first tight end, which is what I was able to do in the 2 mocks I was in. But somebody might have screwed it up. First 2 picks with I think they had the 10th pick overall. They went tight end. And that just kind of screws everything up with that, right? Like people are going to start reaching a little earlier because they're going to realize, I don't have a tight end. And, now there's only 8 good ones left or whatever they want to say. So I don't believe it, but it just means that people are going to take their second tight end a little earlier. And I'm into that second tight end category that I think could be good. I'm just afraid that if I wait a little too long, I'm screwed and I'm stuck as my tight end 1 with somebody like, I don't know, Doyle.
Ebron.
You could have a guy like Will Dissly as your tight end and be content. Why not? If you wait.
I mean, I hope the guy is healthy. So
that's true.
That's one of the big problems. So hopefully he's healthy there. So
yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So what do you guys? What's some of the more interesting picks in your all's division? Josh, you start.
Well, I kind of had Kenyon Drake ready in my queue for the 3rd round, and I just got sniped. So a little upset about that.
That's the worst, man.
I had my eye on him.
At 3.7, 3.8,
3.5.
That's still
3.5.
phenomenal. Like,
That's
I mean,
still
I got him at 3.3, so whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
only
around
one
there.
spot past then.
And I had him ready. I had my eye on him, locked, and then poof, just right before my eyes.
That's how this happens. I had about 4 guys right in my queue there, and I was still about 5 picks away, and they all went. Like, okay, back to the drawing board. Here we go.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
Like honestly, a lot of them it makes sense. Like I think Tyreek Hill may have gone a little early at 2.02, but Carson Wentz went before Kyler Murray by 1 pick in the 3rd round, so that was kind of interesting. And Deshaun Watson actually almost made it to the 3rd round himself. But I mean, you look at it, like a Hill or a Devontae Adams, that makes sense. They went earlier. They're dominant wide receivers, so it's been running back heavy for the most part in my league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I almost
what I'm
got
looking
Drew Brees coming back to me at the end of the 2nd round, and I kept telling myself it wasn't going to happen, almost because I didn't want it to, knowing I was going to go either Mahomes or Lamar in the 1st. And then when Brees was 1 pick away, I'm going like, am I really going to do this? I feel like I have to. He was like my number 3 quarterback in this format. If I can get him at the end of the 2nd round, that's amazing. But I just, thankfully, I feel like he got picked, because I feel like I would have been behind the 8 ball and running back and receiver big time had I been doing it. Not that I picked a receiver yet, but I'd be behind the 8 ball big time receiver, the running back. The running backs just drop off like a rock at the middle of the 3rd round, if not just before then even. So I was happy to get 2 really rock solid running backs, I feel like. And I don't know, I'll still say, I don't know if you guys saw it or heard it earlier, but Gurley went and picked 9 in one league. And I'm just like, my head is exploding trying to figure out about that one. I don't know.
Was that an auto pick or something?
No, absolutely not. It can't be. It doesn't matter. He's not ranked that high.
No, he's not even on my draft board unless he falls like the 7th or 8th round. Like that's the only way, and he ends up being like RB4. Like, because that's what you have to assume, because that's a touchdown dependent dude in an offense where their defense is so bad. Unless he's catching 70 balls this year and his knees don't blow out, then I just don't know about him.
It literally makes no sense why he went pick 9. Like the guy actually wrote on Twitter. He was like, "Look, I feel like he's in the Atlanta offense, and he's gonna get a lot of volume. He's gonna go back to his old ways and blah 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 blah." And I was just like, "More power to you, man."
Did the arthritis go away all of a sudden?
I was like, you are on an island all by yourself, but have fun with that. So, all right, man. Well, we're a minute over with you guys. Had a good chat, but we gotta move on so we don't run like 30 minutes over. So,
awesome. Thanks
good
for having
talking
us,
to
man.
you guys, and good luck in the rest of your drafts.
Take care, guys.
Thanks,
All right, later, guys.
Good luck.
All right, so that was Jeff Hicks and Josh Livi from Fantasy Six Pack. Glad to have them on. And up next is Pat Fitzmaurice. What's up, Pat? You there?
I am. What's going on, Joe?
What's going on tonight? We're good. Just trying to chug through this and raise some money for multiple sclerosis. Hopefully, people are contributing. I haven't looked, but it's I know the SFB Podathon gets a ton of money for what they do, and that's fantastic. So we kind of pivoted and did our own thing, hoping to get a little bit. But we also just want to have some fun and just talk some Scott Fishbowl because it's the big topic right now. So first things first is what division and what pick do you have?
I am in the operation division.
All right,
and I am sitting there at 109, and I just made pick 309 actually. So far, I've got in my basket, I've got George Kittle, Joe Mixon, and I just pulled the trigger on Jonathan Taylor.
Nice.
Which I was kind of obligated to do as a UW-Madison graduate. And I do think he is just, the best running back prospect we've seen since Saquon Barkley. And I am not believing the Frank Reich platitudes to, make Marlon Mack feel better about himself that, this is going to be some kind of committee. There's no way Mack is keeping Taylor off the field.
I do agree with you. We've had some chats about Taylor before. I actually had Taylor as my top rated rookie coming into the draft. The Laney spot wasn't fantastic, but at least for just this year, but dynasty wise, obviously phenomenal. Maybe we see a 60-40 split between the two of them, but he's still going to be just, out. He's going to be phenomenal. I do like the Kittle Mixon start from you. I've seen Mixon go in the first round, so the fact that you could get him in like the almost early part of second round, but close to the mid of the second round is pretty great. It's almost like you could have flipped the two and been fine. But you got lucky with Mixon dropping to you. Are you worried about the Mixon holdout at all?
I probably should be after taking Melvin Gordon in the middle of the first round last year, but I've heard those war drums beating about the possibility of a holdout. But what I believe he has till, if they do anything with him, it's got to be before July 15th, and after that, there's a freeze. They just can't negotiate on anything anymore, and he can hold out, but he has no leverage. Based on the CBA. Of course, I didn't think Gordon had any leverage last year either, and he held out anyway.
Right? And it was like, oh, wait, no, actually. Like, man, stupid media people, do your homework.
So it does scare me a little, and I'll probably try to grab Gio Bernard later in the draft if I can. But, yeah, like you said, I mean, it kind of changed my strategy because I was looking at more of a build that was heavy on pass catchers. Mm-hmm. I've done that in the past with SFB, and just gone receiver when everyone's hitting running backs and quarterbacks, and have had some success with that. Being able to get Antonio Brown and Julio Jones 1-2. And I found when I can roll out two studs like that as my top two receivers and have some other good wideouts behind them, it seems like I'd have these teams that would be consistent. They would put up good point totals every week. And if someone wanted to, open a can of whoop ass on me, they would have to do that to beat me, but I would put up those high scores every year. And that Antonio Brown Julio team made the conference finals. And, I'm kind of enamored with that formula, but it just didn't play out that way with, Mixon being available there. And here's what kills me, man. I'm seeing Devontae Adams go in the third round in some drafts or late second. Like, I wanted him at 204, and I would have probably taken Tyreek Hill if he had been there. And Adams and Hill went on the round 1, round 2 turn in my draft.
Yeah, so I've been saying this to a lot of people, and within Fantasy Six Pack, we got about 8-9 guys that are in the league. So we've all been chatting. We've all done various mock drafts, and I've been looking at the results of all of them. Receivers are dropping like a rock, and honestly, I don't disagree with it. You can get wide receiver ones in round 3. You can't get guys with the ceiling of a Michael Thomas or Devontae Adams. I get that. But you can get guys who will give you steady production, and they'll be phenomenal for you, more weeks often than not in round 3. And so I've been holding off on receiver. I get and this is like my 4th or 5th year in it now. In years past, like, the scoring hasn't been, it's obviously changed, like you've mentioned. In years past, I have gone, like, all the receivers drop for some reason, and I'm like, well, I'll take him, and I've done okay. Conference finals every single year, but I need to switch something up to get over that hump. Either I'm gonna drop like a rock this year and not even make the playoffs, or I'm gonna get over the hump and finally make the finals. But I had to switch it up and go a little more running back heavy, go after all these guys that everybody else does, especially, and with this year, like the quarterbacks, and I want to get your thought on that. Like, the quarterback scoring is so different this year. Are you leaning heavier on quarterback than you have in years past? You said you've done it before. I don't know how many years, but
well, I've seen other people do it, and I usually, in the past, I've typically gotten a guy in like the second or third round, and then I've kind of waited and gotten a guy in like the 6th or 7th.
Yep, that's exactly what I've done.
Yeah, it was like a Breeze Trubisky combo a couple years ago, and I think I backed up Trubisky with Eli Manning or something. So it kind of ham and egg it with that second spot a little bit, and I think I might really try to skate by on the cheap this year, which seems like living dangerously in the Scott Fishbowl. But I didn't want to get the 41-year-old Drew Brees he goes 15th overall in our draft. I saw him going in the first round of some leagues, and I know his style is tailor-made for this scoring system. But he's gonna lose it at some point. I mean, you are teetering over the age cliff with a 41.5-year-old quarterback, and I just did not want to put my season at risk on someone that old. And I could have had Russell Wilson with that second round pick, and as I mentioned, I'm a UW-Madison guy, so that was really tempting, but he's taken 99 sacks the last 2 years. You lose a point for a sack in this league, so that kind of scared me off a little bit.
I don't think I realized the sack numbers he had. Yeah, that's pretty telling. Yeah, but I mean, he's not the most nimble of foot guy, so he's not going to run away from anybody.
I mean, he used to be, and I don't know if he's getting slower, but we know that Seattle doesn't exactly like to dump a lot of resources into their offensive line. So maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, I think I'm going to go by because I can see appeal to guys that I know gross everyone out, like Jared Goff and Sam Darnold. And if I can get those guys on the cheap, I'm willing to do that and make a little bit of a sacrifice at quarterback to pound other positions.
I'll tell you, not that I really want to help you out because we will ultimately be competitors, but don't overlook Derek Carr, man. He's a guy.
And Carr?
He's a safe completion percentage guy. Got a couple more weapons this year. We'll see what happens with him. He's somebody that's on my radar. If I miss on a couple of guys in the middle that I wanted, nobody's thinking about him.
Yeah, he is very format friendly here. Yeah. So is Kirk, big game Cousins.
They're safe. They're not ceiling guys. They're floor guys.
Exactly. But they are safe. I mean, they're going to get those easy completions. Exactly. So I think there are going to be some options a little later, and I'm willing to live on the edge at quarterback this year.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I know a couple other people doing that too, even guys within Scott Fantasy Six-Pack. So it'll be interesting. All these drafts are so drastically different. I'm always interested to see the strategy of the person who won every year. So hopefully I'm that person, but odds are against everybody from winning. So we'll see. So
keep getting to the conference finals and knocking on the door. Joe.
I know, right? I'm right there. I was second one year at the conference finals too. Other years I was like bottom of the pack. So whatever. But hopefully one of these years I'll get there. But all right, Pat, thank you for coming on. We got to move on to our next guest. It was a blast talking to you, man. Good luck in the rest of your draft.
Yeah, good luck to you. Thanks for having me. This is a great cause that you guys are doing this for, and really appreciate the invitation. So thanks,
you. Right. Thanks, Pat. Take care. Good luck.
All right, so next up, we got the one, the only, Scott Simpson. I don't know if you guys follow this guy's Twitter, but he's freaking hilarious. Scott, you there, man?
I'm here. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. We're having a blast talking. Hope you can make it even better, man.
Yeah, well, I'm pouring a beer right now.
Absolutely. So we talked a couple nights ago about beer, so I'm gonna tell you, I drank a Dream Team. I've already drank one of these from Oliver Brewing, and I'm
starting my second.
I'm on to a True Respite Boss because I'm the boss.
You're local.
I'm not.
You're going local too. I love
absolutely
that.
Local, man. I got it.
Oh man, we're huge
Maryland
local.
Brew is good stuff, dude.
100%. I mean, I'm in the family too. I'm drinking a Bitch Monkey from Seven Locks.
Oh yeah. By the way, AJ, you don't know, Scott's like 20 minutes from me in Silver Spring, right?
No, I'm like on the edge of Damascus. Texas.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's still like 20 minutes from me.
It's about 15. I can fly. I'm a pizza delivery man. So at heart.
Nice.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So AJ's down.
I was going local with my double cannon.
Nice.
Now I'm switching to
Double cannon.
not as local here
Solid.
with a Florida man from Cigar City, but
Still a great brewery though.
Yeah,
absolutely,
good stuff, man. So all right,
Yeah.
Scott, we got to ask the boring questions first. Division
Name rank and podcast serial number.
Yeah.
division
ASL,
No,
conference
just kidding.
division and
So yeah, I'm in. Oh man, the conference is gonna throw me. I'm in the first conference with have like
Okay.
the wrestling figures.
Oh,
math.
dude,
yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I
That's-
think I'm in the best conference by far.
You got a real
Solid.
wrestler in your division.
Yeah,
Like, you guys win
and-
already.
Yeah, I mean it's
Hell
and my division is masked, but the conference is, I mean has GI Joe, it has Transformers, it has them all. So I'm proud to be in that conference. My division is masked, and I'm drafting from the 6th spot this year.
nice.
All right, so who have you grabbed so far?
So first round I went Zeke. I really wanted Dak, but he went right before me at 5th, so I couldn't grab him. That was nothing you can do about that. He was my quarterback number 2 or 3. I wasn't sure if I was going to take him or Lamar. I'm not going to say Lamar is going to regress, but he puts his body at jeopardy every time he plays with linebackers. So I feel like there's a little bit more stability in Dak that maybe he's not going to be hit by a linebacker. I mean, he could be too. I mean, I'm not going to put that on anybody, but he went right in front of me. Jonathan Morefoot took him from DLF.
Yep.
I'm not going
I know
to
him.
throw any shade. Good pick. Good man. So, yeah. Second round, I went Julio Jones, and then I followed up with the stack with Matt Ryan in the 3rd. So,
I like it.
yeah, I'm a big believer in stacking. If you're going to score big points, you need to have both
Yeah,
players.
I like it too. AJ and I did a mock together, and he stacked Galladay and Stafford, and I was like, man, that is phenomenal. Like, I wish I had thought of it, but I was not able to do that in either of my in my real draft. So whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I do like the stack. I've done it
uh,
before in years past, and it works out really well.
That mock kind of screwed me. I got excuse me, I got pre-drafted on my second pick, and it took DeAndre. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just take Kyler. And then the next turn I took Galladay and Stafford, and I was like, well, I'm just stacking everything here and see what happens. It turned out pretty interesting. I was kind of happy with that team. It was a little running back light, but I mean, I figure with the stacks I could have been maybe made up for it. But I mean, just looking at your division here, I'm up on the Football Workshop website here with their SFBX draft app. Got to give a shout out to Andy Estridge. He's the 1-1 in my division here, and he's the guy who created the site. So, wow, your league is very quarterback heavy, very heavy.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, that's the one thing I like looking at all of these different leagues is just how everybody is different. I mean, every single division. I mean, you're going to have a handful of divisions that are quarterback or a handful that are running back, whatever. But I mean, just looking across your board, everything is really pretty spread out. I mean, there's a handful of receivers already gone. So you guys are just at your turn here going into 4. So, I mean, I guess looking, since you went with that stack, I mean, do you like to try to go with stacks more or just build positions more? Or does it really just depend on kind of who's fallen to you?
I think it's a mix of both. I'm in a best ball Scott Fishbowl style rules league, so I did a little practice in there, and then I did another one where it's a sleeper league based on Scott Fish. So we already did a couple drafts that were for money, that were real. And I saw this quarterback run happening, and I was left with Stidham at one point in one of these leagues, and I was like, holy no. So I want to make sure for this that I have, going out of the 6th round, I've got at least 2 quarterbacks. And you guys kind of mentioned somebody who I think is going to be a 5th, 6th round target is Derek Carr. I got him in my my best ball mock or my best ball draft. So I'm excited that he might be somebody who's there, but people could be listening. I don't know. A lot of sharks in my division, so they might target him beforehand. But I think you're looking for, like you said, that consistency in quarterback. You don't want to lose 18, 19 points and kind of just sink your team on any given weekend.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's got a safe floor. He's not a super ceiling guy, but it's a guy who could be big in this kind of format, especially with the completion percentage stuff. But yeah, it's a solid pick. Like once you get to that middle, teen sort of range of quarterbacks, I feel like. I do got to ask you though, man, and I told you,
Yes,
I told you I'd ask about this. What was your breakfast of champions for the morning of this draft, man? Because I'll tell you, it looked delicious.
So you could make this really easily because you live like just as close as I do, pretty much. You go to Costco and you get the all beef, like grade A Frank's, the sausage / hot dogs, are pretty like bigger hot dogs. And then Fox Hollow Farm, right on 124, off of Brink. They have farm fresh eggs, so grab some fresh eggs there.
Brink Road,
and then
that's
right
like 2 minutes from me.
right. And then there's it's got some pepper jack cheese from Costco too.
All right.
And the key that you're not gonna have, you're gonna have to. I can hook you up though because I'm getting the delivery. Is Bono's hot sauce. It's one of the members of Fantasy FB Stoners Hot Box League. I got in with a bunch of great other stoner guys, great guys, and he makes his own hot sauce. It's 150,000 Scovilles. So if you watch
that, it sounds brutal.
If you watch the hot ones with Sean Evans, it's third to the last is how hot we're talking. So
AJ, check your G chat. I'm about to send you the link to whatever he posted today.
I gotta zoom back in here. Hold on.
Whatever he sent today.
Got it.
Yeah, so I made like a pizza out of it. What I did was I just fried up the sausages in some olive oil, and then put them on top of 3 scrambled eggs with the cheese, and then the Bono's hot sauce all over it. And
I mean, did you have like special meals planned out for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or in between, whatever it has to be for you to get you through Scott Fishbowl X in the first day?
Yeah, I did have another excellent lunch. For lunch, I created something for myself. It was open-faced nachos in a tortilla. So it was a tortilla, cheese, Mexican 3-cheese blend, then chips, and then the hot, pepper jack cheese. Then after I cooked it, I rolled it up into a quesadilla and then put Bo's hot sauce all inside of it. Salsa all over the top of it. And pictures. I mean, I can tweet them out tomorrow.
So by the way, if we ever do this, we've been talking about this. If we ever do this Maryland / Northern Virginia fantasy league,
we got to do it. Yeah, we got to do it.
We're doing it at your house, and you're cooking for everybody.
Oh, sure.
Oh, my God. We can even do it at my house. I don't care, but you're still cooking.
We'll bring the food.
Like, you are cooking.
You let us know what to get.
Denny Carter's
we will just bring donations. Be like, here. Because this sounds amazing.
You guys, man. It'd be great. I love it. It's just something I do for me. My wife and I lived in the UK 10 years ago, and not crying. I'm choked up. No, I lived in the UK 10 years ago. I'm remembering all the beer I drank.
Did you pour hot sauce in your beer? Like,
yeah. So, true story. I brought back 60 beer glasses from the UK in my suitcases, like wrapped in my underwear and stuff.
Oh my God,
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm over my time. I'm gonna get.
No, you're good, but you're about a minute over. It's not a big deal.
Okay,
we'll figure it out.
But yeah, I would love to cook for you guys. We watched MasterChef Australia while we were over there, and I kind of just understood food a lot better. And I suck at cooking for anybody who's doesn't have my food palate. But if you like cheese and meat and eggs and tortillas and nachos and pork and beef.
Pretty much my diet.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know if I can handle the crazy hot sauce. I like hot sauce, but I don't know if that
I'm not a big hot sauce person.
I'll bring some Franks.
You don't have to have the hot sauce. Yeah, you don't. No worries.
But maybe put it on the side. I'll try a little and die. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But the last thing that I want to ask you, since you're a fan of hot ones, clearly.
Yeah.
My wife thinks Joe looks like the host. You'll have to look at a picture and then tweet us back to it and
I'll
see
look for
if
a
you see
good
it.
one. Yeah, it'll have to be an interesting facial, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, Joe's got the quarantine hair going on. I think it's been trimmed somewhat
Sean
recently.
Evans is so small, though. He's like
he
a little
is.
tiny man.
He's a very diminutive man.
I'm
but
super tall, but I'm at least average. I'm 5'10".
Yeah, I'm 5'9" and I'm below average. So let's just. You guys saw me with my shirt off earlier today, so I'm below average. You know.
You're talking about that cookie show host.
Yeah,
you got. I forgot.
I told Joe, I was like, you got to watch the show. Heather thinks you look like this guy, and he's like, I don't even know what this is.
I looked at it.
I'm like, dude, come on, look it up. What do you mean you don't know who this is?
Well, whatever. All right, yeah, we do have to get going. We are a little over time, but Scott, thank you so much, man. It's a good time.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Good luck in your draft, man.
Good luck.
All right. Sorry to our next guest. Ryan Hallam from Fantasy Alarm is with us. You there, man?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about Scott taking a couple extra times, but he's gonna have some wicked diarrhea. That's all I got from that previous interview. I would not want to clean the toilets in his house based on what I just heard.
Dude, do you follow this guy on Twitter? His videos are hilarious, man. I crack up watching his videos. I just started following like a week and a half ago. Somebody put us in a group together with something I forget. Now I kind of forget what it was, but I started dying with I follow this guy. Like his videos are hilarious. He does all these like random like minute and a half videos. Like he did this thing this morning where it's like, yeah, so I'm just not gonna be a good dad this morning.
I saw that.
Like he's walking around like ignoring all his kids and his wife. Like I'm like.
Then she was gonna kickbox his ass from what I saw.
Yeah, she's kickboxing, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." It's just great. So, all right, well, let's get through with the boring questions first, man. Division and pick. What you got?
I am the Garbage Pail Kids division, and I came in at 10th overall.
All right, so who did you get so far?
I started with Travis Kelce, who I never in a million years came into this thinking I'd never pick a tight end first, but he fell and fell and fell. And I was looking at him like, geez, that seems to be the right pick, the tight end premium. So I was going for it, and I'm like, then I start, overthinking it, like we all do on all these picks. And I'm like, nope, hit the draft. That way I can't even think about it. It's the right pick. Yeah. So I went with Travis Kelce. I came back with Josh Jacobs. There was a number of running backs that I liked there. I think Jacobs probably has the least competition for carries there. I have a feeling the Raiders are going to get him a little more involved in the passing game. So I took him second. Came back in the third, needed a quarterback. I went with Josh Allen, who everyone all over Twitter is saying is garbage in this format because of his passing accuracy. But it improved 6% last year from 52 to 58. I expect him to get a little bit better this year.
Got Diggs, so maybe.
And he is one of
Diggs on his side now, so
one of the better running quarterbacks, and he just got a new number one receiver. Sure. So I'm confident that that's okay. Obviously, it was my first choice, but I was happy there. And then I came back. I wanted a running back. So I went with Raheem Mostert as my fourth pick. So I've got two running backs, a quarterback, and a tight end through 4 rounds.
Nice. Solid, so which conference are you in then? Do you know the conference?
It's like
number?
cards, or it's like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. So it's got to be like cards.
Yeah. Okay.
What it is. The 11th conference, whatever it is.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we've just been kind of asking people like most interesting pick. Like, has there been a pick that stood out to you in your draft that kind of was like, whoa, like I can't believe that actually happened?
I can't think of anything too crazy, to be honest. I was in a draft a couple weeks ago, and I saw someone take Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the 10th overall pick. That one blew my socks off. But I haven't seen anything crazy today, to be completely honest. Wide receivers are not going at all. There's only been 7 gone through four full rounds. A lot of people have 2 quarterbacks already, which I'm not one of yet. But honestly, no, nothing's been all that crazy at all. I'm sorry. I wish
it's
something better.
Well,
yeah.
Let me follow up on it. So you mentioned
chocolate.
So you mentioned the receivers not going. Are you surprised with that, or do you agree with that?
No, I haven't taken one yet through 4 rounds. I'm probably going to take one somewhere in my next 2. But no, I did a mock draft last night with the Sam and Tate, the fantasy focused, and no one took wide receivers. Like, it went, the whole entire third round was quarterbacks pretty much. And then wide receivers came late, and there was plenty left. I mean, there's only 7 gone through 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So there was a truckload of good ones left. Like, like Chris Godwin hasn't even gone off the board yet. Oh, no, yes, he did. He just went. So Chris Godwin went like 3 picks ago. So, I mean, there is a truckload of good wide receivers. So I feel like I'm going to get somebody really good still with 9 picks away before I go again. And then probably come back with my second quarterback, and I feel all right. I got two pretty good starting running backs. There's a chance I'll go for a third running back and wait one more turn around on quarterbacks because there's someone I got my eyes on.
I was going to say that, like, I did 2 mocks, and they both went the same way. So happened, and I got the same pick that I did in the real one, and I went quarterback, running back, quarterback, running back, and then finally receiver. And in the fifth round, right? Am I doing the math right? 6th round. Quarterback, running back, quarterback, running back. Yeah, 6th round, actually. I was able to get, I almost got Kenny Galladay one. AJ was in mine, and he snagged Kenny Galladay 2 picks before me in the 6th round. Now, granted, that didn't happen. Somebody got him in the 3rd round. Somebody wised up and figured out he was going way too late. But I was able to get, T.Y. Hilton. Not that I love T.Y., but, 6th round, I'll take T.Y. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Galladay went 6th pick in the 4th round here. He was the last wide receiver taken. So, yeah. The same thing happened in the mock I did last night, and right now the same thing's happened in this draft. So I'm kind of happy for it. The guy number 1 overall took Patrick Mahomes. Then he's gone running back, which I think is excessive.
That's a lot. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, there's a lot of red up at that front end. I was like, oh wow, because it's all at pick 1.
The funny thing was, a lot of these.
I know that guy though. He's I'm in a league with this guy. Yeah,
who is it?
At James the Brain. And,
we had one of those group DMs going, which I don't really agree with for your draft while it's going on, but I'm in it anyway. And he said something about a quarterback run happening, and I hadn't picked a quarterback yet. And I was like, hey, let's not talk about it. And then he left the group chat right after that. I was I was only kidding. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've got we've got the group chat, but it's not a big deal. We all just kind of it's more for just kind of pinging people when they're not paying attention.
Yes.
Of course, you always have that 1 or 2 people that in there 2 seconds into the pick. Hey, you're on the clock. Hey, you're on the clock. Okay. I have 8 hours. I'm not actually going to use all 8 hours, bro, but just calm down. Actually, it's funny. This girl, I actually don't know her name, Gianna or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
This guy was like, Gianna, you're on the clock. And she goes, yeah, that's fine. I'm getting the emails. You can stop bothering me. I was like, yeah. That was fantastic. Because I wanted to say it, but she did for me. And then he was the idiot that was on the turn that didn't pick a second pick for an hour. And I finally was like,
I was like, when people do that.
Hey, you do know you're on the turn,
you've been on
right?
the clock for an hour.
That is one of my pet peeves.
Oh, yeah. When you're on the turn, you don't make both picks back to back. No. I don't care if you take 2 hours to make the one pick, but make them both back to back. You should have them both figured out. No way. And I don't know. Anyway, so
what?
Sorry,
what's your late round sleeper? We'll say wide receiver then, because that's kind of low in your thing right now.
I don't know how late.
A couple of them, so you don't necessarily have to give away
everything.
I guess.
You know what? The guy I've been picking, it's not real late, but it's a guy that I plan on getting. In the teens rounds probably is going to be Preston Williams is one that I take a lot towards the end of drafts. Alan Lazard I've gotten a lot pretty late. When I have no faith in Devin Funchess at all. So while Lazard might not be great every week, I think there's going to be weeks that you can definitely use him. And Hunter Renfro is another one I like really late. Good possession receiver for the Raiders. I know they brought in a bunch of other guys, but PPR, I think he's going to get a lot of targets. He was good when he was healthy. He missed a good chunk in the middle of the season, but he's somebody that I'll probably be looking at pretty late.
I loved Renfro coming out of college, man. He felt like he was super underrated. Good slot guy. He's going to stick around the NFL for a long time. He might be a better NFL player than fantasy, but he's going to be solid.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So
well, and everybody they have there, I mean, aside from Williams, is young. they're
Right.
all rookie receivers. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting year. I mean, I know Carr's built for this setup, but I mean, he was so dependent on Waller last year because he didn't really have Williams. So Waller's stats definitely dipped when Williams was in there. So I mean, he might worry me a little bit this year. I still think he's going to get plenty of volume and still be a solid tight end or tight end one for a lot of people probably. But yeah, I think Renfro maybe this is his year to finally kind of bring it all together and really step up.
I hope so, because I've drafted him in a bunch of different drafts.
All right, man. Well, Ryan, we got to move on to our last guest
Absolutely.
of the night, but I appreciate you coming on, man, and then it's a good chat. So good luck in the rest of your draft, and we'll have to bring you on again soon.
Sounds good, guys. Anytime.
All right.
All right.
Have a
Always
good
a
night.
pleasure.
See ya.
Yep. See you later, Jay.
All right, so to close out the show, we're bringing on two fantasy six-pack guys, Kevin Huo and Jonathan Chan. Just so happens to be both of the content managers, if I can spell manager right on the slide. That's awesome. Come on, A. Where's my A?
This is why you're not allowed to do slides.
No,
anymore.
I'm not. I stopped doing this. Anyway, it's fixed.
Jeff, do you hear us?
Come back. Well, no, it was just a different.
Well, I know he doesn't do the slides,
different thing. But anyway, all right, Kevin Huo and Jonathan Chan. Kevin, start with you. What's up, man?
Not too much, man. I've been doing a lot of sitting and waiting today. A lot of missing out while you guys talk about how your drafts are going.
Yeah, I
hear
your
mine just
not so fast.
Picked up.
one of those people that's just like, and we're still in 101. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, no, he was a 1-1. I do.
We sat at 109 for about 5 hours, and then I think the guy might have even got replaced. I'm not 100% sure.
That will
possible. I mean,
we're one
Scott
pick
had
away.
the. Go ahead.
We're one pick away from my turn pick, so there is a chance
all right
that I'll make my picks live here.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, I think AJ was about to say the same thing I was going to say, but AJ, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Scott had it out there in the rules that if you're not making your first pick within the first 4 hours, that you could be in jeopardy of being replaced. Yeah. And it's like, there's 10,000 plus people that signed up for this thing. And well, maybe that number's a little skewed because people signed up multiple times, but still a hell of a lot more people signed up for it than got into it in the 1440 that are in. And you're really going to blow your opportunity to be in it. I mean, it's astounding to me.
And how you can't figure out how to, I get it if you're in the back end of the first round, but like how you can't figure out how to auto draft your first round is beyond me. Like,
you have to get on the site. You have to be able to use MFL. And I've been an MFL like hater for a while, and I really don't now. I really like the site. I've been using it a lot more.
I just learned to use it.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I can navigate it a hell of a lot easier than I used to be able to. And it's just, it takes a little bit of time. It's got a steeper learning curve, but. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I know there was 101 that was just sitting forever.
Yeah,
and because people in my 102 group, Jonathan, I'm sure you saw the messages too. They were like, "We still don't have a pick."
Yeah,
it's like, what the hell are you talking about? You don't have a pick.
So Jonathan, what division and you? I know you had the 1-2. I put you guys back to back and together because it was 1 and 2. So. But what division are you in?
I am in the Radio Flyer Red Wagon group, Conference 4. Right. I'm not really sure what our grouping is. We're just miscellaneous toys, like one of those Super Soakers. So
yeah.
But I went Patty Moneybags at number 2. I had pretty much decided on him like weeks ago, so I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I was hoping Mahomes would follow me at 3, but he didn't. I got Lamar. Which is what Kevin went at 1, right? You're the only one that went kill Lamar. Explain yourself.
The only 101 that went Lamar?
Yes, he is.
I think I saw one other person did it. And I'm not. I mean, I don't know if it's my homerism. I tend to think it's. I want to say that I'm not being a homer, but I mean, I know part of me is. At the same time, I mean, Lamar. To me, Lamar is the quarterback 1 in redraft. That's not debatable. And I don't really see why he gets a bump down or why Patrick Mahomes gets a bump up over him in this format. The rushing
Super Bowl win. Sorry.
Super Bowl win doesn't.
Sorry.
I mean,
What?
Yeah, we're not counting Super Bowl wins. We're not counting the ability to beat the Titans in the playoffs. I mean, I think Lamar is going to do kind of what he did last year. I mean, like, he didn't have great weapons around him last year outside of Mark Andrews. Marquise Brown wasn't healthy. I don't really think – I mean, I hear a lot of people saying, like, oh, people are going to watch what the Titans did and they're going to kind of figure them out and be able to game plan for them. But literally nobody is able to even, like, talk right now, let alone go out and practice. So I think anything that worked last year, that's a big theme for me this year. Anything that worked last year, I believe will probably work this year. I'm big on continuity. Any kind of continuity is helpful. Any kind of new receivers or quarterbacks going into new offenses or whatever like that, that kind of stuff makes me nervous. So I just don't really see why Lamar is getting bumped below Mahomes so drastically. Like, I was surprised to hear that I was the only person to take Lamar. 1-1.
So I've said it on the show already, but I know you weren't tuning in early. But the reason why I think that is because, look, Lamar had this massive jump where he was here in rookie year and then he was here, right? And I know Mahomes did the same thing. And then even the second year, he was just as good. Second starting year, he was just as good. But my thing with Lamar is that he was never known as like an accurate passer, not even in college. And he made this accuracy jump in second year of the NFL that was like, whoa, well, now he's okay. But can he do it? And his touchdown efficiency rating was crazy good. And historically, those don't continue. You'll get one or two spikes if you're an elite quarterback for your entire career. Sorry. You see Aaron Rodgers have it. You see Brady have it. You see Breeze have it. You see all these other elite quarterbacks have these spikes in touchdown efficiency throughout their career. But, you know, the good ones even have like, it's like a 5%. I want to say Lamar, A.J., correct me if I'm wrong. I think somebody brought it up on the show a couple weeks ago. It was like almost 10.
He was at 9.
9. That's not happening this year. Sorry, it's not happening. Unless he's the best quarterback ever in history of the NFL. Yes, the rushing is incredible.
Kevin might believe that, though.
Yes, the rushing is incredible, and he'll get all the first downs, not 71 of them like he had last year. But it's just the fact that he's going to have the regression. And somebody brought this chart out. I've shared it with both of you. And, well, everybody at Fantasy Six. Somebody shared a chart where they broke down all the quarterback points. And it was just last year's with this year's scoring. And it was kind of incredible about, like, how many quarterbacks had negative games? Like, their min was negative. And then how many negative games they had? Granted, Lamar and Mahomes were the only two quarterbacks who didn't have a negative game. I take Stafford out of it because he only played 2 games or 3 games, whatever it was. But
no, he played 8 weeks.
Did he play 8? I thought it was like 3 weeks.
I looked at it today. That's why I was surprised. I thought he played less than that. And I was like, oh, shit,
thought so too. But anyway,
4 weeks. Okay.
All right, well, scratch that. Anyway, he didn't have a negative game either. But Lamar and Mahomes didn't have a negative game all year. But Mahomes, like, min was way higher than Lamar's. And the reason is that Mahomes is just that safer quarterback to me. And that's why I think that.
Yes, and possibly no. I mean, you have to look at you're looking at the vacuum of 2019 only for that. But and you have to look at, okay, well, their schedule. Well, no, I'm just saying that's the stats from last year. That's where everything fell.
I get it.
But, you know, both of them were kind of on this meteoric rise of stardom from their first full year as a starter, really. You know, and if you take out Mahomes' injury last year and what he could have done had he been healthy all of those games, maybe he would have been right there or higher. I mean, who knows? But I mean, just to go back real quick for the stats side of it, I'm going to bore people with some numbers here. I mean, Lamar in college was 2015, 2016, 2017. He was 54.7% completion percentage, 56.2, and then 59.1. He had 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions first year, 30-9, 27-10 passing. And then you tack on the rushing, he had 21 touchdowns rushing in 2016, and then 18 again in 17. I mean, he definitely blew up in that second year and maintained it for the most part in the third, if not got slightly better, depending on which stats you're looking at. The touchdown interceptions kind of fell off, but the percentage went up. So then you look at his regular football stats for NFL, and in 18 he was at 58, just over 58 percentage for completions, and then up to 66 last year. I mean, it's definitely a higher percentage, but you've got to look at the fact that he only had 170 attempts versus 401. So that weighs into it somewhat. I mean, there's obvious room for regression, but I don't necessarily 100% agree that it has to happen. Will it likely happen? Probably. But I mean, it's tough to maintain that. But you got to look at the receivers, the talent that he's got around him as well. And it's such a run heavy offense that I think, that's kind of his bread and butter. He's almost another running back there, but he can throw the ball very, very well. And I'm not going to be one to take that away from him.
So Jonathan, let's move on here. Let's get you guys some talking time. We talked a lot here. I just got on a rant, and so did AJ. So Jonathan, where are you heading next on your draft? Like position wise, what are you thinking with what you've already drafted?
Funny you bring that up. I'm still on the clock with my current pick. AJ knows this problem. The Fournette versus Connor debate.
So what pick is this?
411. So Fournette fell pretty far.
Son of a bitch.
Dude,
yeah.
I hate you in your division.
Man, I think I'd go Fournette.
God, I went Fournette and
okay, so wait. Remind me again, who's your team?
Mahomes, Drake, and Jacobs.
God damn it.
Good, pretty good.
I mean,
I'm out on this conversation.
Has there been a bit of a receiver run in your league?
No. 4 straight QBs have gone.
So no QBs left?
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 QBs have been drafted.
Whoa.
What?
So I'm going to say you got to take a running back.
15
here.
QBs
you
are
got to
gone.
come back with a quarterback because you're not getting another one.
Yeah, I'm going to go probably Fournette and then whatever quarterback comes back to me.
I mean, what's your 1-1 have quarterback wise?
He's got nothing. No quarterbacks.
He has 0 quarterbacks.
1-1 has no quarterbacks?
No quarterbacks.
You have to assume he's taking 2 quarterbacks here.
He also has he only has 1 running back. He's got McCaffrey, and then he took 2 receivers at the 2-3 turn. So he's going to need a running back too.
All right. Spit out the top 3 quarterbacks. Quick.
Top 3 quarterbacks. Give me a second.
What's your group name again, or your
the Red Wagon, Radio Flyer Red Wagon.
Flyer. Oh, I'm looking at that now. Yeah, so he's got.
If you walk past that on a Target shelf, would you be able to pick it out?
Yeah, because it says Radio Flyer on the side.
Damn.
I did. Got him.
Yeah.
Top QBs got like Jones, Mayfield, Tannehill, Rivers, Cam, Derek Carr.
You're looking at Carr.
Oh, I like Tannehill.
Yeah, Garoppolo.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm probably.
I'm good. I'm good with more of those.
Cam.
What about the running backs?
Fournette, Connor, like Carson, guys like that. The only ones that have like a path to like RB like bell cow touches. Those are the 3.
obviously, with me going Fournette at the 2 more because I had to. I mean, I love Fournette. I think, I mean, if this guy's going to go quarterbacks, depending on, I don't know if are they a fan or an analyst? I don't know who that is.
Doesn't matter, dude.
They're an analyst.
It doesn't matter. But anyway,
yeah.
Well, I think they need one running back unless they're going 0 RB with McCaffrey. But I'm okay like going with a running back and then coming back with say Tannehill or like Ben or something like that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Dude, honestly, I think you gotta go Fournette. I think Fournette's got the massive upside here with this.
As I was saying earlier, dude, the schedule favors him. He's a 3-down back. I mean, Connor is, as you saw in our chat, he's got some injury issues, but I think he's going to have an easy, not an easy year, but I think he's going to have a good year. But I just like Fournette better. I think I would maybe load up there as well. And then, I mean, you got Daniel Jones, you got Baker still on the board, Tannehill. I don't love Jimmy G personally, but Burrow's sitting there. He could be interesting. Or you could settle and take Ben. I mean, everybody except for your 1, your 4. I mean, there's most of the people in your league have 2 quarterbacks already. So I would definitely take one on the turn.
Yeah, I still take one here, but yeah, it's just one of those, like, they're all kind of the same. So I would take the better running back now and then figure it out on the way back and just take whatever's best left at quarterback. Even if that guy one takes both, like, who cares?
There's still a
ton that are all kind of the same at this point. You're not getting the difference with like a Lamar and even like a Dak. Like even that difference is so drastic. Like that's not the difference you're getting now.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty upset. Stafford went 2 picks before mine.
I saw you saying
very upset.
I was like, that. So
again, I took him in the 3rd because I went with my guy. Like, I mean, he was my guy. I wanted him over Stafford, over Wentz. Which
all right. Well, I'm gonna make the Fournette pick live just so you guys have one.
All right,
for us.
You got a live pick.
All
Kevin,
right,
what's up yet?
Coming in hot.
We're waiting 3
Leonard
hours.
Fournette added to the running back stable. All right, there you go.
No, that's good stuff. I don't think I'm up. I haven't got my email.
Kev, did you end up coming for your second pick?
Not at all up.
No, not yet. Oh, yeah, I'm on deck. But I mean, since I got the turn, I could pretty much just pick 3 players and just take 2 out of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of what he does.
Just for those watching as well, the live stream, Kevin is the top picture.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan is the bottom picture. I just looking at it, it seems like it's.
You know what? I'm gonna clarify. I'm gonna ask why you had to clarify this, AJ. Huh?
Because of the spacing and the layout on this landscape BS slide that I had no involvement in creating.
Did you want to help with this, AJ? Did you want to spend the 7-8 hours I spent planning this show? No, you didn't. You just wanted to come on and talk. So
please
don't give me crap.
That's all I ever wanted to.
So
act like I'm here to
I did what I could. I got everybody's pictures and info situated on the screen.
Yeah, I'm
realized
not knocking
it.
it.
Weird.
I'm just looking. I was looking at it earlier and I wanted to say something. I was like,
I know it looked weird.
I'm
really
the Canadian
looked like
and lumberjack stuff. Just so everybody knows, I'm the Canadian. We're the lumberjack stuff. That's me.
Kevin's name is much closer.
Showed up in a suit.
I get it.
I get that it's the top, and then bottom and bottom.
Kind of.
I didn't make that decision.
It's just
that order.
It was hard, man. I did with all the double slides. There was 3 of them. I don't know. It was weird to like get everybody situated in like aligned right. I did it the other way around once, and it even looked weirder. I was like, oh well, whatever. I won't do that anymore. So.
All right. Well, Florida man's gone. Opening my next one.
You know, beer 3. Damn.
It's fucking Monday, bro.
Fucking Monday. All right. Good times. So, all right.
I don't know if I mentioned this already. Actually, I did, but today was my first day back at work.
I went back the other day. Whatever.
It was great.
What's work, guys?
I know.
Man, I haven't done that since March.
Me neither.
Kevin's done too much of that.
Just kidding for the owners that aren't listening.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Anyway.
Um.
So who are your three that you're looking at then, Kevin?
I am looking at Miles Sanders first. That is my first pick. Hopefully he doesn't get taken. And then I'm thinking, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I double down on quarterback? Matt Ryan is still available.
What conference division are you at?
Jenga. This is, I don't know, what is this? Conference 14? Conference 14, yeah.
14, yeah.
I mean, my draft has gone pretty chalk. There's nothing that's surprised me. Yeah, literally nothing has surprised me, I think, except that it took so long.
Yeah, there's just.
I was actually pretty upset Stafford went 2 picks before mine.
Yeah, I saw you saying
very upset.
I was like,
oh.
So
again, I took him in the third because.
Yeah, I mean, this thing has gone completely chalk. Like Drake at 201 is probably the most surprising one. I guess someone was really hot on him, but other than that,
how the hell did somebody take Drake over Derrick Henry?
Wow, dude, somebody took Henry third overall.
Yikes.
Third overall.
Not as surprising as Drake.
That's the opposite of where this one is. And it's like,
but I'm gonna say,
holy shit,
him going third is real close. Like, wow. I mean, they were just scared off in the running back run, and they didn't like Zeke apparently because of the COVID stuff and the fact that he was saying that like he's got, he's having after effects or whatever. But like, man, that's just seemed a bit much to me.
Yeah.
But
that seems like a bit of an overreaction to.
Well, he had another reason.
Yeah,
he had another reason for it. I mean, he was just like, look, the guy was a monster. He feels like he's going to get more involved in the passing game, which I don't agree with at all. They brought in 2 running backs who could probably do that. So I don't get that, but to each his own. People are going to do what they got to do. You got to reach for the stars in this league, which is what I've said many, many times. You can't play it totally safe. I play it safe.
I mean, I don't looking at your league, Kevin. I mean, it's pretty running back quarterback heavy. There's only Thomas and Evans, and then only Kelsey Kittle are off. Everything else is running back or quarterback. So. I mean, I think you almost want to go 2 running back if you can. Maybe grab a second quarterback. Depends on. I mean, you're really only looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see, you were in the same boat that I kind of was, where you have 6 people without a QB1. Nobody with a QB2 though. Like the 1-1 in my league. Took CMC and then went back-to-back Watson, Kyler. And I was like, great, okay. Now I'm not going to get a second quarterback if I don't pick one here. So I reached and took Stafford. But yeah, I mean, of the people I'm looking at on your board, I definitely like Sanders first.
Yeah. He's my number 1, 2 out of that group.
Yeah, I mean, you could always stack with Andrews. I know we were just kind of talking not down about him, but about his prospects for this year with his diabetes and stuff. But I mean, you got Fournette there, you got Taylor there.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards if Sanders and Andrews if I can get them. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a safe
earlier. But
it's a safe play and a good play. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
the stack is good.
I don't particularly. I don't know. Leonard Fournette is probably the second guy after that. If this guy in front of me takes Andrews, then I'll just go Leonard Fournette and Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
I don't know why Aaron Jones. I'm kind of shying away from him. He seems a little touchdown dependent.
100% agree.
Yeah.
But you don't think? Okay, well, so hang on. You don't think Fournette was too dependent on his receptions last year?
I mean, he scored like 3 touchdowns. So if he bumps that up to like 7, then the difference is.
But he's gonna lose touches, so maybe the touches won't go.
He's gonna lose some receiving touches.
Yeah.
But
possibly to Chris Thompson.
Jones is going to lose touches to who? He's not going to score 17 touchdowns.
Drafted in the second round.
Jones
A.J.
has
Dillon?
80
Come on. I love A.J.
Jamal
Dillon
Williams.
to death, but no. That didn't happen.
I agree that I think Jones is their main red zone guy.
Still think he is.
But he's not getting 16
No,
touchdowns
he's not.
again this year.
He's not. But I don't know if Fournette gaining touchdowns and losing receptions is going to gain up with Aaron Jones losing touchdowns. I don't know if that adds up to me.
He's still a three down back where, to me, Jones is not.
That is still a Packers offense that's going to be good. And Aaron Jones is going to be a focal point of that offense because, again, they added nobody except for Devin Funches, who gives a crap. Jones is going to be a guy. Don't sleep on Jones. Take him over Fournette.
I already did. I passed him, and I'm okay with it. I don't want
who did
anything
you
to
pass
do
on
with
him
Jones.
for?
I passed on him for Stafford. Well, and Fournette, technically. He made it all the way around. Well, not all the way. One pick away.
You
but
wanted your quarterback. I get it. Between the two, Sanders, Jones, Fournette. That's my order. But
I will say about Jones that a lot of his stuff last year was efficiency and the touchdowns. Even when he was going crazy like midseason, he was only getting like 55-60% of the snaps max, and he was just scoring touchdowns and getting him points.
He had
with them drafting Dillon. I don't see his snaps going up.
He had a ton of first downs. I don't think Williams was healthy all year either. But
he was for the most part.
Was he?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know. He was just a non-factor for the most part. But that's because Jones was. I mean, he was so good. Plus, the other thing to look at, and we talked about it in the 1-2 chat, was it's a contract year for Jones. He wants to stay in Green Bay.
He does.
But I don't know if he will. I mean, that's why they drafted Dillon. But they may run the shit out of him, run him into the ground. So whoever gets him next, they may think, well, we're not going to be able to afford him. So let somebody else have him. We're just going to bury him this year. And he could be phenomenal this year. I mean, I could be totally eating all of these words. And I gladly will if he repeats it and has 20 touchdowns, becomes the MVP, and Green Bay wins the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But I just don't like him.
All right, so close it out.
My emphasis around Jones is almost the same as yours around Lamar, where it's like he had 236 touches and scored 16 touchdowns, or 236 carries, scored 16 touchdowns. Like that
super efficient.
Yeah, that seems like a number that's going to go down.
It will, but here's the thing: if he regresses, he's not finishing. You know, he at worst finishes QB5, right? Jones regresses, he's gonna finish, QB20 or running back 20. I just don't see him regressing from I don't even know where he finished. QB6?
Oh.
Or quarterback. Why do I keep saying quarterback? Running back 6? Is that where Jones was last year? I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Aaron Jones was running back. Let's see. This is different scoring.
I think it was 6.
He was running back 3.
Yeah. So, okay.
Wait.
So if he regresses,
3?
doesn't score as many. In this scoring? You're talking about Scott Fishbowl?
In this scoring? Yeah, in this
All right. So if he regresses in this scoring, running back 10, I mean, that's kind of where I've got him in my rankings anyway. So you're going to pass. You think Fournette's going to pass running back 10? I don't. So
Fournette was running back 10 in scoring last year with 3 touchdowns.
I still think he's going to get
very close. I
still think he's going to get receptions. I think he's going to lose out on some third down
big
action.
thing between Jones and Fournette is that
you can write off the fact that the Packers drafted a running back in the second round. They have Jamal Williams. I get that A.J. Dillon is not like a great prospect or anything, but they drafted him, so I don't know.
But the Jags drafted 2 guys, right?
Do you know their names?
Chenault.
Running backs?
They drafted Chenault. I know that.
Chenault is like He's
yeah,
kind of running back.
He's just a weapon, dude. They're gonna give
He's
him
a
the ball.
gadget. He's a
Oh no,
gadget
sorry,
guy.
they didn't draft two guys. They drafted a guy and they got a guy. So Chris Thompson, huge weapon out of the backfield, and Jay Gruden loves him. And Chenault is a weapon, and he's gonna be a guy that's gonna just take a lot of touches away from Fournette. That scares me more than the Packers taking A.J. Dillon, who's just a plotter. I love him to death. I love him. I wish he hadn't landed in the Packers offense. But he's a plotter. That's what his role is.
I would have loved to have seen him go somewhere else. I mean, that was just a goddamn disservice to him.
Tampa and just get a chance.
He's going to make millions, which is not something I'll be making. So I don't believe him. So, all
right.
He's the rich AJ, and I'm not.
All right. So we got to close out the show. It's almost 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I want to ask you both the same question. Kevin, this is both your or actually it's not both your all's second year in it. Whose first year is this?
It's mine.
Jonathan's. Okay, so Kevin, your second year in this league. I know last year actually I should know that. I have it on the board. 18th place finish last year. You obviously did successful. What is your strategy difference last year to this year, and to try to keep yourself to be as successful as you were?
I think I'm kind of just going for upside. Like last year, I think the reason I succeeded was because I took CMC, got lucky with that, obviously.
That worked out really well.
That helps out. Dalvin
nice.
Cook went well. And then I took a chance on Mark Andrews a little earlier than everyone because tight end is horrible.
Thank you for that, by the way. That worked for me, too.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think it's just at positions that are weaker, I think you want to take more chances. So, I took Mark Andrews, and I also took another dude that I forgot his name. But the thinking was, one of those dudes hopefully will hit.
Mm-hmm.
And, my whole thing was, I kind of want to be safe where I can and then take shots where I think it's, not that big of a deal if I missed out. If Mark Andrews ended up being, tight end 14, all right, whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
Right. So, follow-up question.
If Christian –
Sorry.
But if my first three picks they flamed out, then you're basically
toast.
just.
I mean, you're toast forever.
Yeah.
So follow up question to that, and Jonathan, I'll have the same question for you. So think about it: do you kind of play more, back half of the draft? Do you play more ceiling or more safe, kind of best ball format type of thing with ceiling instead of being safe? What do you do?
Oh, you know me. I'm all about just taking shots, and if this guy has a 14% chance of becoming, if there's a wide receiver 6 on the team's depth chart, but he has a 15% chance of becoming a fantasy wide receiver 3, I'll take him. I'm all about churning my roster as much as I can. I'm taking chances on everybody throughout the season. As soon as someone, it's like the Silicon Valley mindset where it's you just want as many lottery tickets as possible. So I'm just taking shots, however many shots as I can, as long as it's somewhat reasonable.
All right, so Jonathan, this is your first year in, right?
Yes, it is.
So we asked the same question earlier to Josh, who got in for the first time. What was it feeling, man? What was it feeling like getting in for the first time?
It was nice, I saw this last couple of years all over social media. It's oh, you know what? This is a cool thing to participate in. You're doing something good for charity. It's fun. You get to connect with all these people in the fantasy community. And I'd never been more nervous for a slow draft in my life. Just staring at these grids, just waiting for it to update. It's oh my God, what's going to happen? But it's been a good time so far. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So later on in your draft, do you think you're going to go a little more upside, or you think you'll play a little safer and just see if somebody works out? What are you gonna do?
It's got to be upside, especially in a league like this where you can't trade and waivers is just going to be an absolute mess. I think you have to try to hit on somebody late in the draft to give you that leg up, and just take shots as soon as you have your starters ready to go, and just keep taking shots in the dark and see what happens on as much upside as you can get.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Throw my 2 cents in, and I said this last week with Anthony on the show. I said later on in the draft I'm gonna go a little more upside because you gotta go for it. you're not gonna win. Like, yeah, cool, you can be, 120th place or whatever. Nobody's gonna remember you, even if that means you made the conference finals, like me. Nobody cares. So you go for it, and hopefully it gets you there. We've got a guy on the staff, John Lopresto, who couldn't unfortunately meet with us tonight, and he's made the finals twice. Actually got second once, and that's absolutely the same strategy he goes for. I'm fairly confident in that. I've talked to him a few times about it. So you go for the guys that you really, really like early, and then later on you just go for kind of upside guys. But AJ, do you have anything different with that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is only my second year, and last year was a complete crapshoot for me.
Unfortunate, but it's not your fault.
Yeah, I mean, I had some unfortunate crap fall my way with Luck retiring and Zeke's holdout clouding things, but he ultimately was good for me. I had Kittle, which was good for me. Lots of other injuries, Drew Brees. So, I mean, the big thing too is you got to look at those waiver wires too, and that first quarterback injury to happen. I mean, don't be afraid to take a backup quarterback with your last pick or whatever. If you feel like somebody has a chance at going down, whatever. And I'm sure with my weird voodoo injury crap going on, I'm probably going to try to tap into that later. But have fun with it. Enjoy the draft. Kevin, I know your draft has been taking its sweet ass time, but I was in one of the fastest drafts last year, and I love drafting. It's like you want to get to that next pick and get riled up and everything. But I mean, this is like a draft like no other, and you got to take it all in. And this is something I was putting out to, I don't remember if I put this out to our group, Kevin, or maybe my division group, but just enjoy it, enjoy the ride, especially if it's your, first year. Even for me, my second year, I mean, I'm already different than what I was planning on doing. So throw caution to the wind, go after your guys. Don't be afraid to take them early. If you think they're going to pan out with this setup, then go with it. Just go with your gut.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing you can do. You can, and that goes for fantasy in general. I mean, this is a sport and or game we play that's pretty much solely based on luck. I mean, there is skill. Absolutely. There is skill behind it, and Joe can attest to that with how well he does with his rankings and how much work he puts into those.
I'm trying to say my rankings are luck.
No. I'm saying that there's skill that goes into it when you re-listen to this tomorrow and hear how it actually panned out. No, there is skill, and there is, you need to have a knowledge base, but this is what we do. This is our niche. We want to do it and do it well. So just enjoy it, man. But
yeah,
get your guys.
Most of my drafts have lasted long, and I loved it. Like, I kind of like them dragging out, and also like random news pops out like in the late July, and you're like, oh, and then like you get to snatch those guys where leagues that went like a week and a half,
news,
and they were like gung ho
really
with it.
Benefited
They're
me
screwed
prior to the draft last year.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I lost out on the Jacoby Brissett sweepstakes because I think somebody dropped all of their fab on
$100
Brissett in my division.
Yeah, because
I think somebody dropped $100 on him.
You had Andrew Luck and whatever. Unlucky for you, man.
Whatever. That's fine.
All right, Kevin and Jonathan, man, we got to close it out. So I want to say goodbye to you guys and thank you for coming on. Good luck in your drafts. And we'll definitely get you on. We've got something planned for you guys later this preseason, so I'll hit you guys up later.
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
Check
sounds
back in
good.
with me maybe later this week. I'll tell you which round I dropped to Josh Gordon.
Yes.
Man, I totally forgot. All right, fine.
We're talking about.
You know what?
That's the hype that we're talking about.
My computer was wigging out today, so I had to close everything, including my notes. So I kind of forgot what I needed to talk about. All right. So yes, you guys are obviously both Josh Gordon lovers. I got to do it because you promoted it on Twitter. Realistically though, when are you guys drafting this guy? Kevin, you start.
I was kind of smoke screening for everyone who might be listening. I'm really considering him with 301.
No, okay. Seriously,
realistically,
you gotta get your guys.
I think realistically, like I just looked back the other day at like the draft that I had like last year, and I took like Keelan Cole. I took like Chris Moore, like round 17, round 18. Clearly, that didn't work out. So at that point, I'm willing to take a guy like Josh Gordon. Like,
where do you think he's actually gonna come back? Like, is he coming back to Seattle? Is that what?
I mean, here's the thing: is like with those picks, like, and this is how I am in redraft too. You guys know this. I always have like the most transactions.
Yes.
Like, as soon as it's not happening, like whatever, I'm cutting him. I'm forgetting I even invested.
You can't have transactions. Like, not a lot. Like, and they don't matter. Like, you're gonna get like 2 transactions that matter.
Dude, but like when he joins a team and then has 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Oh my god!
Then you guys can't tell me anything.
Okay, Jonathan. So where are you realistically drafting Josh Gordon?
Like, I think probably at the last few rounds. I don't think he's on anybody's radar. Like, rightfully, after the last few years, I don't think he's on anybody's radar for real. But like, I'm gonna take him. Like, because as soon as you get down there, you're looking at like wide receiver 7s for like Washington, and it's like it's not worth it.
I'll take him around like 19. Kind of what you're talking about, like 18, 19.
Yeah,
because like I get it.
Yeah,
at
like
that point,
I'll
like,
take Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon at my 2 picks at the turn. Like that's fine.
Yeah, I even thought about adding Antonio Brown to this, but I kind of have a feeling like people are gonna like go after him randomly just because there's like already rumors that he's gonna sign. So I'm not sure what that means,
Houston?
but who knows? I don't know. You guys both fall in love with
I could
these
take
guys.
it now. I'm back on the clock. I could just take it now.
Sure,
and
go
get
for it,
done with,
man.
you know?
We'll see you next year in Scott
do it.
Fishbowl.
You gotta do
Is
it.
this just tank my first pick? Yeah, right. Just right away, just tank it. Or can I just message Scott
get it out of the way.
the
I
Matt
mean-
Barkley guy? Be like, I meant to draft Melvin Gordon. I'm so sorry. Let me redo that.
What's funny? So you guys must have missed that.
I totally missed the wrong Gordon.
AJ found out some info about those Matt Barkley picks.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it in the chat, Jonathan, but
Matt Barkley.
It was for charity, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Hall posted about it, I believe.
No idea.
And said that there was a charity event for it. So if you took Matt Barkley in the first round and made the playoffs, you had your chance to cash in on this pot that was growing for it, and you could donate it to the charity of your own choice. But it sounds like there was only 2 guys that actually did it.
One guy did it with the second pick overall. So like
those 2 people are better than me.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't even know about it. I mean, it's a bold move.
Yeah, I didn't know about it, but honestly, I wouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm trying to do my own thing here. I guess Multiple Sclerosis Society. For those listening at the end here, please donate. Trying to do our own thing. Scott Fishbowl does his own. Does a phenomenal job, and the SFB Podathon does a phenomenal job with Fantasy Cares. But we decided to pivot at the last minute here and go with Multiple Sclerosis Society, something that hits close to home for me, and many others across the world. It affects so many people. I'm fortunate. I don't have a lot of effects by it, but I'm sure as I get older, it's not going to be as pretty. But yeah, please donate. FantasySixpack.net/donate. Every penny counts. It'll be open for the next few days, so those listening on the replays can definitely do so. The link will be in the show notes if you can't follow it with what I'm saying. So, Kevin, Jonathan, thanks again for coming on. It was a great talk. I knew you guys would be kind of long. We like to talk to you guys, so that's why I put you guys last. So.
Thanks for having us, guys.
All right, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And,
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you
Good
another
luck.
time. All right, AJ, that's it. You got any updates on your draft that you want to share? I don't think I do.
Let's see. So we've now gone we're sitting on 2-8. Looks like. Yep.
2-8. Damn, you guys are way behind.
Michael, sorry, it's 3-8. 3-8.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, whoa.
Yes. Dynasty Football Factory. Michael Stevenson.
All right.
At Fantasy Jordy is up to pick, whatever you want to call it.
Baseball? I'm gonna talk about baseball.
Yeah, sure, why not? So we had at the turn, I went Fournette. Then, like I said, Watson and Kyler went, so I took Stafford, and Ms. Samantha Holt right behind me followed suit with the quarterback run and took Matt Ryan. Aaron Jones, your boy, finally went to Aaron Yackel at Yakenbake.
Aaron Jones went in the late second round of my pick in my draft, by the way, right after my Miles Sanders.
3-4 here.
I mean, it was so 2-11 to 3-4, but yeah.
Yeah. So Tyreek, then Carson Wentz, and D Hop.
Yeah.
So receivers starting to come off slowly but surely.
So my receivers started coming off in the middle of the third. Like, basically, there was 3 receivers by the end of the second round, and then Julio, Godwin, Hopkins, Galladay all went bam, 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 bam in the middle of the third. All back to back to back to back to back, and then it was quarterback again, and then James Conner, and then quarterback. So quarterbacks are flying off my board. I was kind of hoping to get